All right, today I want to talk to you a little bit about consistency and maintaining the willpower to be consistent when you're starting new habits and behaviors, and you of course have a default, and so how to overcome your default settings and manage staying on focus and consistent. This is something that I was really facing this morning. I didn't get a lot of my regular habits done today that I usually get done. And I was actually kind of a little bit grumpy. I didn't feel like anything was in the right habit or pattern. And at one point, I even remember thinking, it was not a serious thought, but I remember thinking, if everything just went back to the way it was, 2, 3 years ago, then I wouldn't even be trying to, make all these changes. I would have just been happy with my mundane go to work, come home, sit around and relax, make a good meal, watch a movie, watch TV, just hang out. It's been a long day. I deserve a break, right? Well, ever since, the end of last year and changing my focus and my mindset, and then really setting some powerful goals at the beginning of the year, I really feel like I'm on course and on a path that's really going to help me in the future. But sometimes getting from where you are to where you want is such a huge breaking point. I'm not going to mention the movie name, but earlier tonight I was watching a movie about two fighters, two boxers. And the one boxer really wanted to get into the game. He had been unable to for, all of his adult life. He was, maybe in his 30s. And he had had some things consuming his life for several years since he was a teen. And I was thinking about the point that he came to a friend and was like, "Hey, I want to get in the game." And so his friend helped him work it out. Well, he was finally up for his first boxing match, and I was kind of thinking about that being with the way life is. We have our setbacks, we think our life is going to go one way and then it ends up going another way. Maybe we have this ideal of what it's like to be a parent or, to be a teen if you're younger watching out there, or just what it's like to be an adult and to be an adult, pay bills, go to work every week, every day, whatever it is that you work and you schedule. And then, life just happens, doesn't it? Maybe you get sick, maybe a family member gets sick, maybe something like COVID happens, and there you are finding yourself in a position that you didn't think you were going to be in, and now you're set back for however period of time. There are a lot of people and businesses that were really negatively impacted by COVID, and wow, it really did change our world, didn't it? Well, I was thinking about this boxer, and kind of relating that to life. And when we finally get our big chance and the edge is taken off, we could just, realize that there we are. We've made it. We've got our money. We've got whatever we're going after. And there we are, right? We're now in mediocrity. We're going to work, coming home, getting up the next day, going to work, coming home, working on the yard, hanging out and watching TV all weekend, or whatever it is you do. We get stuck in these mundane habits and behaviors. A couple of different people that I've listened to about this have been Dr. Joe Dispenza. Let me see, what was the other one? Definitely Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone. One of the other people that I really love, I can't think of his name right now, but there are so many greats that recognize that when you get stuck in the day-to-day, the habits of the day, the mundane of the day, it's hard to continue changing and growing. Like, you really have to have that drive to be like, no, I have not made it to where I want to be. I need to keep pushing forward. I've been in management, in and out of management my entire adult life and teen life and a working career. And I've noticed that when I'm an employee, I get to the point where I'm like, I'm just, coming in, doing my job, going home. As a supervisor, I have so many different things that I'm looking at. How are my employees doing? How is our production doing? Can we reduce admin time or non-production time? How can we make our processes and our systems more streamlined? How can we get more work done? And recently I've been thinking about this. How can I move to a new area? And when I move to that area, how can I implement improvements, as far as are our employees paying attention? Are they focusing on the work? How can I do that with myself? And this is one that I've really been thinking on recently. What is, how can I learn something new and then maintain the drive to keep driving forward? So I learned something new, I implemented it, great, yay, I changed, that was awesome. Okay, ready for a break, I changed, pat myself on the back, I made that change out great. We need to keep going. I am not where I want to be yet. I have so much work to do on myself, like so many of us. For me, it's not just about, reaching some status or, financial income number. It's about the growth that I'm making through helping other people, and as a byproduct of being able to help other people, that also reflecting in my skills, in my abilities, in my education, in the way that I communicate, in the way that I can connect with other people. And that is one of the most important things to me. How can I connect with other people? I grew up in a pretty good home environment for the most part. I feel really blessed in the environment that I grew up in. And so I don't have some of the stories that others have out there. I also grew up in a very specific environment, and I feel like I've always been a pretty smart lady. And part of that has been, me not being able to relate to people has been that I feel like I've thought through things very differently than other people have. And when you think about things differently, sometimes it can be hard to relate to somebody. But if you really think about it, you can probably relate to every human being. We've all felt joy. We've all felt laughter. We've all cried. We've all embraced someone at some point in our lives. We've all felt, hopefully, love at some point in our lives, whatever that is, whether it's, love for scenery, love for a pet, a person, a thing, music. We've all felt some kind of love in our life. We've all lost someone. We've all had a birthday. There are so many commonalities that we have had that I feel like it's easier to connect with each other than we think it is. And wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we could connect to each other in a better, more positive way? That's what I'm looking for, is how can I improve? How can I become a better person? By research and reading and setting goals for myself and setting a focus and then maintaining that consistency. As I thought about that this morning, as I was getting ready for the day, consistency, I thought about how the morning had already went, and honestly, I feel like I have more rough experiences than smooth ones. But the rough experiences are the ones that really make me grow. Especially if I can have a rough moment and then come out of that moment, immediately recognize where I went wrong, what my part of it was. Stop and think about it, which always seems to cause a change in the way that I interact with others. No matter how I'm feeling, if I can do that, just stop, identify my part, and then change. That is where I really seem to improve the most. That is the moment that I feel like I'm following my focus and my purpose the most. because of what my focus is and what my purpose is. What is your focus and purpose? Do you know why you are where you are? I know why I am where I am. I know what got me here. I know what mistakes I made. I know where my weaknesses are. I know where my strengths are. And a lot of me getting to where I am has been maximizing my strengths and diminishing my weaknesses. In another way of putting it, I've grown my strengths and I've reduced the number of weaknesses I have. Now, I still have a lot of strengths and a lot of weaknesses. I have a lot of growth to do, and I love the opportunity to grow. I don't love when I'm so overwhelmed with activities or behaviors that aren't helping me to grow. So as a person, as an individual, I have really had to take a lot of those moments, especially this year, and stop. Think about my part. Before I even take it, think about my part. I can feel myself and the energy within me shift into a negative posture. I can feel how it makes my body feel, my skin, the hair on my arms and on my head. I can feel my mind start to turn and think and work on something I can say in return, some way I can respond. That has always been a problem. I'll bet that there's others out there that have had similar experiences. You can feel that negative energy rising as if you're on fire inside. You immediately are awake and alert as if adrenaline is surging through your body. If you can stop before you even start, you'll have a lot more better moments. You'll have more moments that you look back on and you're like, yeah, I nailed that. Yeah, I'm rocking. I did awesome with that one. Where are you at? Why are you there? Can you recognize the turning points in your life? I listened to a training, from Pete Vargas on talking on stages. And one of the things that he mentions is how one moment in your life can change everything. Do you know what those moments are? You have to be able to identify those moments, if you can, to remember what lesson you learned. Remember what you were doing. How did it make you feel? What was the outcome? I have so many of those moments in my life that I can identify. Yep, this is where this changed. This is where this changed. This is where that changed. This is where I discovered this. Oh, that one made me never forget that ever again. Do you know what those moments are for you in your life? Do you know how they've impacted you? What if you could create those moments for yourself every time you came up against a difficult situation? That is one of the ways you can truly grow. Grow as a person, grow as a business leader, grow as a business owner, an investor, a networker, partnerships. If you can catch yourself before you let that thought entertain your mind, and how it snowballs and becomes larger and larger and larger. We don't want that to happen. Unless it's a good thought. If it's a good thought and you're going to help other people, go for it. But you want to stop when you get in a difficult situation, even if it's just within. How can you maintain the consistency in that moment of where you're trying to go? No matter how much you grow, no matter how much you learn or what degree you have or how much money you make or your status, whether you're an influencer or, a religious leader, whether you participate in rallies or whatever it might be, whatever you're doing, you're always going to have a challenge that you run up against. You're always going to have it. You're always going to have an obstacle you have to overcome. It's incredible that if you can find those moments of when your energy starts to become negative, if you can stop it right there, separate yourself from the situation, get some time to yourself for just a moment. The bathroom is always a great excuse if you need it. Going to your room, grabbing something out of your room. You know, you got to go check on something. Run out to your car for a minute. Run into the other room. What do you need to do? The conclusion that I came to this morning was this. The only way to be consistent is to look at this the way I look at new habits. You can't start a habit. A habit does not become a habit unless you consciously think about it and then decide to do it. Doesn't matter how many days you've done it. You do it 1 day, 10 days, 21, all your life. And then it can stop becoming a habit just by choosing that one time. Choosing that one time a second time, and a third, and a fourth. The only way to be consistent, truly, is if you can stay focused. Is if you can keep your purpose at the forefront of your mind. And sometimes that does mean just going through the motions. Now, there's a difference between just going through the motions every single day for your life or for long periods of time versus I got to maintain the habit. I work out every morning. I don't feel like it this morning, but I'm going to get up and give it at least 5 minutes of my time. How do you do that when you don't want to? I also decided this morning that I have to have a plan. And this was one of the most powerful thoughts about this that I had. Because I have been taught this since before I was a teenager. Very young was I taught that the only time that you have is the time that you make. The only time you have, the only things that you do are the things that you make time for. I learned such a powerful lesson at such a young age, and I've let that slip through the cracks. It's hard when you have anything else going on in your life other than self-improvement. These are things that I am bringing back into my life. They're so important to me. I only do things that I make time for. Set a plan. What am I going to do in this situation? How can I prepare for this situation? What if I'm deciding to have a great day and I wake up and I'm in a bad mood? Does that mean my entire day has to be ruined, especially if I have something fun planned? No, don't ruin your entire day because you wake up in a bad mood. What do you need to do? What's your backup plan? What can you put into place so that those days you can still get through the day, even if it's just putting on a happy face for a minute? Now, this isn't healthy all the time, in my opinion. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health expert. I'm not any kind of a psychologist or counselor. I'm not trained in those things. But it's always healthier to have a way to become happy when you don't want to be. When you need to function, when you need to work with other people. Now, if you wake up in the morning and you just have plans with yourself, or you have plans with somebody and you know that you could be flexible and you really need to just take the day to yourself, or, whatever that means. Maybe your plan is, okay, I'm going to take 3 hours. My entire day is going to be, delayed for 3 hours. I got to take something out. I got to adjust my schedule. That's a little different. but learn how to have a backup plan. What are you going to do when everything falls through? Because it's bound to happen, right? You get up to go to work, your car doesn't start. It snowed 1 foot, 3 feet. You're on your way to work and there's a traffic accident. You get up and you're supposed to have a family party and you're sick. I've had similar situations in all those examples. What's your plan? What's your plan for overcoming those difficulties when you don't feel like doing them? When you don't want to put your focus on, your long-term goals? What is your plan? Where do you want to go? How bad do you want it? I'm testing myself with all of these things right now. How bad do I want it? These are just some thoughts that I've had throughout today and this morning. It's been a long day. My eyes are so heavy and tired, and I'm super ready for bed. I'm going to go to bed here in just a little while, a few hours or so. It was nice to have some family over today and to have a little bit of a celebration. And now I'm going to go enjoy some time with my honey. But I've really been putting a lot of this into thought recently, specifically today, and just thinking about what is my plan? How bad do I want it? I know where I've come from. That is so important. I know who I am. Another very important thing. I know how I got to where I am right now. I know what decisions I made that put me in the place in life that I am in right now. And I could have made 100 million different decisions along the way, right? Probably more than 1 million different decisions. Unlimited other decisions. But I can't do anything about those things. All I can do is focus on where I want to be from where I am right now. I had to catch myself. I was going to say, focus on where I am right now. But that's been part of the problem. I've been focusing on where I am right now instead of focusing on where I want to be. Instead of focusing on what's important to me in my life and what I want to share with others. What kind of legacy do I want to leave? What do I want people to remember me by? Do I want people to even remember me? These are all things I'm thinking about. I want people to remember me. I want people to know me only because they've gotten some value out of interacting with me. Their life has become better because I've been a part of it. I feel like I have a huge deficit in my personal life. There are a lot of things going on right now, and that's not unlike anybody else. Every one of us has so much going on right now. There's never going to be a good time to make a change. There's never going to be a good time to be a better you. There's never going to be enough time to learn everything you want to learn. And it's never going to be the right time to learn it. So you have to decide where you want to be. And whether those are baby steps, whether it's 2 feet forward and 1 foot back, whatever it is, do not stop. Do not keep silent. Be authentically you. Who are you? Can I help you with something? Can I help direct you or guide your path somehow? I want to know. Is there something that would be helpful for me to talk to you about on these videos? Is there something that I could help you in coaching with? Help you to see your own path or discover it or find it? Is there maybe an insight that, I could have with you if we had a conversation? If you're interested in a coaching session, I'm going to be giving some complimentary ones away in July. So if you watch this video and I could help you, and you want to try out a free coaching session. Now, this is just introductory. Um, I'm still working on getting everything put together for a business, but this is kind of a way for me to find out what's out there and what people want help with coaching. What things would be most beneficial for you? Where are you getting stuck the most? What can I do to help you? To help you focus and find where you want to be in life. If you're interested in that free coaching session, either send me a message in Messenger or drop me a message below and just put in the message coaching session or free coaching session. And I will reach out to you and we will get a time and a date set up and we'll be able to talk for a few minutes. I want to be able to help others find ways to succeed. And I didn't even think it was possible in my life until I started following Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone and started listening to some greats again. Today I listened to Oprah Winfrey for a few minutes. I listened to Michelle Obama, Grant Cardone. I listened to narratives from others about these individuals and some of the points that have helped them the most in their life. I just want to be able to help you. I recognize things that have helped in my life. And I would love the opportunity to help you work through things and set your focus in your own life.